On today's video, I'm going to be talking about some tips on how to find a job as an international student in Canada. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mariam. If you're new here, if you see my face for the first time, I live in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. I make videos about life in Canada, studying in Canada videos, vlogs, and everything in between. I hope you consider subscribing to this very young channel. Encourage me, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. To my returning subscribers, how are you guys doing? I hope you're well. I hope everybody's fine and you're keeping safe. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about some tips on how to find a job as an international student in Canada, right? So when you land in Canada, after you have done the things you need to do the first few weeks to settle in, you've gotten accommodation and all that, the next thing on your mind as an international student or anybody, even a PR, is to find a job, because like I said in my other videos, the bills are monthly and they do not stop, right? So you want to start earning in Canadian dollars, you want to start earning the currency. So the next thing is to find a job. So I'm just going to give you some tips. The first thing after you arrived in Canada and you found an accommodation and you've sort of settled into your new home, you've done the first things you need to do in the first few weeks in Canada. If you haven't watched that video, I'm gonna link it up here so that you can see it and know what you need to do when you arrive in Canada. So after you've done all that, the next thing on your mind is to find a job. Like I said before in my previous videos, the bills in Canada are monthly and they do not stop, right? So you need to find a job. So here, I'm going to give you some tips on what to do. The first thing you need to do, of course, is to have and create a Canadian standard resume. So probably from Nigeria or back home, you had certain information in your resume like your age, your local government, your state, your religion. You don't need those kind of things in your Canadian standard resume. You just need like your name, your phone number, your email address, your house address. Those are like the most important personal information. Every other information you have on your resume are supposed to be about your professional job descriptions of the roles you have held in the past. So you need to create a Canadian standard resume. If you go on Google, you'll find several samples, and there are some HR experts as well on YouTube that have done videos about how to create a Canadian standard resume, right? So you need to do that, and don't make it too long. Like nobody has time to read 5 to 6 pages of resume of lots and lots of stories. Just go straight to the point. And my resume is 2 pages. Like just don't make it too long. That's one tip I have, so that the recruiters won't get tired of reading a long resume and just toss your resume aside. So that's the first thing. Of course, have a Canadian standard resume. The next thing is consider registering in some of these job sites like you have Indeed. If your LinkedIn is hibernating, you need to re-log in and be active on Indeed. There are jobs posted on Indeed daily. You can also set up like alerts so that you can get job listings sent to your email for specific particular types of job. For instance, if you're looking for a job in customer service, you can set up an alert on your LinkedIn profile and it will send you lots and lots of jobs per day that you could also apply in. So check Indeed.ca. On LinkedIn, you can get some jobs as well. There's other websites, Zip Recruiters. There's also the Canadian Job Bank website where some companies also post jobs and advertise jobs as well. So you want to check job websites, and also some companies that have websites. Of course, most companies have websites. You can also go to specific company websites and check in the career menu of the website to find jobs as well. So after you have your resume, go on Indeed, and just keep checking. Check on Glassdoor as well, glassdoor.ca, and just keep checking for jobs and apply for what you qualify for, right? And in case I forgot to mention, in your Canadian resume, you need to tailor your resume based on the specific job you're applying for. So if you're applying for instance, customer service, or say you're applying for an IT role, on that job ad, there are certain words and there are certain job descriptions that I have put in there. you need to try to capture it in your resume so that at least it will go through the screening process. I'm sure before you apply for a job, you're qualified for it and you can do the job, right? Your resume, probably you have captured it in another way or using another type of language or another word. Just try to get some keywords in the ad, in the job advertisement, and have it in your resume. That is a good way for recruiters to take a second look at a resume and actually call you for an interview. So tailor your resume to each job. Another thing you can do is to have your resume for a particular type of role. Like customer service roles are mostly similar, for instance. So you can have one resume for that. You can have another resume for probably admin roles. If you're an IT person or technical support person, you can have another resume for that role. And depending on the level you're applying for, if you were like a director or a manager in your company and you're applying for like an officer role, which is considered probably like an entry role, you may want to tone down the whole managerial thing on your resume. Otherwise, they might see you as overqualified, which was some of the reasons that most of us international students were having at the beginning, using our Nigerian resume to apply for work. Like, they'll be wondering if you want to come and collect the the CEO's job with that type of resume. Okay, so you need to tailor your resume to particular jobs. Consider doing your keywords to match the job adverts. Okay. Another important thing is to use cover letters. Certain roles and job vacancies that are advertised online require cover letters. I know that it could be a hassle creating lots and lots of cover letters for each job, but as much as you can, consider adding a cover letter to your application, right? So is in that cover letter you could explain further about your experiences, your skills. If you have transferable skills that you can bring to this role, you can explain that in your cover letter, which your resume might not give you an opportunity to. So as much as you can, add a cover letter to your application. And of course, you're going to have to make cover letters for different job roles again. So yes, like applying for a job is a full-time job. It takes a lot of time. You need to be mentally and emotionally prepared, but in this case you don't have a choice. You need to just keep to it. You need to continue applying for a job until you find one. Another area that you can explore when looking for a job is the referral system. So this is a very big part of job hunting in Canada that I wasn't familiar with before coming here. Like coming from Nigeria, if there are certain companies that you have applied to or certain organizations and you say that you know somebody there, they might not call you for interview because I don't know the reason why, but it might look like maybe conflict of interest or something. Even if you're not related to the person, or probably the person is not even going to put in a word for you, they will not call you for an interview. But here in Canada, the referral system is a big deal. It's a big deal. The referral system, talk to people that know people that you know are working in certain companies, right? That you want to work. Just ask them, can I use your name to apply for this role? I want to apply for this role. Can you refer me for this? Another option you can consider is to walk into some of these organizations, especially to retail stores. Some of them just have like ads or hiring pasted on their walls or like the doors of their shops to say they're hiring. You can just walk in and talk to a manager and they'll ask about your availability. When do you go to school? When are you available to work? How many hours are you entitled to work? And they will just, even if they're not hiring at that time, they could have your resume in file and then call you up when they're like there's a vacancy. So just walk in. Sometimes after applying on Indeed for a while and you're not hearing from these companies, you can just walk in. Another thing you can consider is to actually register with like job agencies. There are some provinces that have like job agencies. In New Brunswick, I'm sure there are a few, but I haven't used any. You can also search to see their recruitment agencies that help students to get jobs as well. So just register with them and they could also help in your job search. Another thing you can consider doing is to apply to jobs on campus. Most universities post jobs, part-time jobs on campus that you can apply. You can start from there. Just anything to get a few dollars in that could support you with your bills every month, and just to get that Canadian experience. Like they're very big on Canadian experience here in Canada, so you want to consider that just to get the ball rolling, and you can start from somewhere. And of course, you grow. Another area you can consider in your job search is to attend career fairs. Like the city of Moncton regularly organizes a job fair for newcomers and international students in the city. So it's called the Greater Moncton Newcomers and International Students Employment Fair. It's an avenue where organizations within the city gather together in one place to talk about and to showcase the type of jobs that they have. Some even do like these short interviews for qualified candidates at the venue, and they take your resume, take hard copies of your resume, so you can find part-time jobs as international students. You can speak to recruiters. Some of them will tell you to go on and apply on their website, but some can just take your name down, your email address, phone number, and take your hard copy resumes and probably get back to you. So some people have gotten jobs through from career fairs. So I got an email last week. Yeah, there's one coming up in February. I will put the link in the bio so that you can go on and register if you're in Moncton. Just give it a try, meet people, and have any to network. You can talk to recruiters, get their email addresses, and just pick up conversations from there. You don't know where some of these conversations might lead to. So yes, job fairs are really important for you as an international student in Canada. Try as much as you can to attend these job fairs. You never know. So yes, that's it about looking for a job. Another thing I tell people is you just have to keep applying for jobs until you actually find something you can do that can pay the bills. It could be something that people call survival jobs. It could be in retail, probably jobs that you have never done before. But in this case, you need the money to pay your bills, unless you want to keep changing from your local currency to Canadian dollars to pay your rent, to feed, to maybe buy a car or something. So just get a job. Like I know the job market in Canada currently is not as good as it used to be, and I'm going to make another video on that one, on like the reality of what's on ground. But this I'm just giving advice on, especially people who just arrived, on how to find a job. So just get any job and just start doing, in as much as of course something you can do that you're capable of doing. Don't just remember where you're coming from, and I was a big man, I was a big woman in Nigeria, I can't do this type of job. Just get any job. Like, I hope that the video has been informative. I hope you've learned something from today's video, and I hope that these tips work for you. I wish you all the best in your job search, and I hope you come back here with testimonies of finding jobs as international student. It gets better, really. I promise you it gets better. It may not look like that, but it does get better. And like I say always in my video, on this journey you need to always pray. When you do all these things, commit it to the hands of God, and everything is going to be fine, right?